know what? Hopefully, man.
See, that's why I like you, Max. You're the man. Have some alone time with Mama.
I'm sure you're just saying that.
Is this you?
Yeah.
Is this supposed to just look good or?
No, man.
Should put tape on.
Won't this get in the way? These big ones.
Yeah, put that.
Why you acting like real?
What is this?
Gin.
Everybody wash their hands before they came inside the house. Okay?
When?
Before you
Now? No, I didn't wash my
I
hands.
didn't. I should.
wash your hands.
I agree with you, to be honest.
Alright then, coronavirus is gonna catch you
All
guys.
right, sharing on
Gonna
this
catch you
today.
guys. Out you. Yeah, you guys got it. Woo! You know, putting some high demands, man. What's going on today? One time you change, you gotta wash my hands.
Should be the standard.
Exactly, we're gonna share amongst each other. You're gonna make sure your hands are clean. But imagine you just came from the wash and you didn't wash your hands before you came to the house.
I washed my hands and then also there was some dirt that came off, so good thing I didn't it?
People are just nasty. These projects. This is a good thing. It's a blessing, isn't it? Trust me. Good thing.
Hands all washed, Rich.
Good kids.
Hands.
Mama proud.
Mama proud of she drinking liquor. Huh? Yeah. Getting drunk with the kids out.
What kind of gin is this?
It's an older flower.
Who brought it? Did you bring it? This guy trying to turn up today, bro.
It's gonna be
You
a
can
long
have it
session.
with.
I was having a drink yesterday.
You did or did not?
Yeah.
You did.
I did.
So you're making up for it today?
Yeah, I've been holding out. I've been holding out for 2 weeks. So.
Kill me today.
I closed that.
Yeah, hold it down.
Oh yeah, I'll call it.
What do you like?
We need a tank. We need a drink.
Good luck with that one, boy.
Thank you.
I'm guessing you need like a bad drinker back in the days.
Just
say, tell me. I'll
Okay. Never drank. Never started. Never drank. How's it going?
Okay, so you never started. Okay, that's why you're not like.
Never drank alcohol. How's it going?
Oh, really?
That's it.
12.
Ah! Why you? She's lying. She's lying.
I've never seen you drinking that.
That's because they don't drink.
You've seen a lot of examples.
You
of
probably
why not
drink
to
with your wife. Do you drink with your wife at home?
She only drinks wine, innit?
Yeah, so you don't drink wine with her? Not even if she was just like base. I just want to see your other side of
Hell
you,
no.
your
Hell
demon
no.
side.
Hell no.
You need to see your
Hell no.
demons.
Go find another man. Hell no. Hell no.
To be honest, I don't think you need alcohol, man.
What are you trying to say?
You have natural energy. You know,
What are you trying to say?
some people need alcohol, you know. You'd be surprised. They can't socialize
True.
without alcohol.
It's true.
You got natural, like,
It's true.
That's social.
it's a good thing.
Isn't it?
It's a good thing,
Just
man.
can't.
Did you just cream your hands?
No.
No, I think
my
it's
hair.
yours, right?
Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
cream your hands.
No, I wanted to. I didn't bring any.
Oh, you're gonna leave me out
I
here
wanted
dry.
to. No, I'm hiding my hands.
I have some too.
Yeah, please.
I have some.
Alright guys, welcome to part 2 of Colorism. I'm Teng.
I'm mad.
Arish.
I'm Maria.
Maria's back! Maria's back, welcome back.
Momo.
After a little break, she's back. We're happy to have her back.
Thank you.
So our work today's will just be a continuation of last week. Colorism, we have a few questions that obviously we kind of didn't get time to answer last week. And we'll get Maria's opinion on it, and then we'll just kind of explore a little bit deeper into some of the topics. So just kind of that being said, I think we'll just go directly into the questions.
Shall I go?
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
one question is, do you think lighter women, or men, I guess, are preferred than darker? What do you guys think?
I think with men, I think women prefer darker skinned men.
Yeah.
And then for females, they obviously prefer lighter skinned women. But then there's some people out there who actually prefer darker skinned women compared to lighter skinned women because I guess they just understand more of the cultural background of the meaning, you know?
Yeah.
So they're like, they would be like, no, I want a darker skinned woman because I appreciate my black woman, you know?
Yeah.
But that's just more recent, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely when I was growing up, I used to get all the time like, you're really dark, or you're pretty for a dark skinned girl, or things like that. I always felt like undervalued, and I always wanted to be lighter.
Yeah.
And I used to try and lighten my face.
Yeah.
But I just, to be honest, I didn't have the patience to keep it up. So it would always go back.
That's
I
too much
couldn't be bothered.
effort.
It's too much effort. But I used to always do it, and it took me so long before I finally came to a place where I'm like, appreciate who I am.
Do you think that's because of, like, again, we spoke about it last time, it's the environment? So obviously we've grown up in different environments where it's predominantly black. Like obviously we spoke last week, we've grown up in Sudan, in Egypt, came through here, some in Canada, some in the States, and so on. And our experiences has always been with a lot of black people consistently. And when you're with so many black people, you might not have that pressure. Where you said that obviously where you're in Scotland, there weren't that many people. So your perception of beauty was everybody that was around you that might not look like you.
I agree. I mean, I used to get called like a Paki when I was younger.
Paki?
Yeah,
How is that?
They
That's
just
so
saw
ignorant. That's so ignorant.
And my mom used to be like,
No way,
educate yourself. We're African, not Pakistani. Like, it's really dumb.
That's the
But
first I've ever heard.
That's Scotland, isn't it?
all the time.
Scotland,
But they just saw dark skin. So I used to feel like really ashamed. We used to get that just walking down the street, like people just shouting at you, calling you all these names and stuff. But just back to our light or dark women preferred. My grandmother, like rest in peace, she was actually mixed race.
Okay.
So when she grew up in South Sudan, she was like targeted and persecuted a lot because she was light skinned, but she was like really pale, really, really fair, and she had soft hair. So she was persecuted because of that. She was treated really badly, like no clothes taken off her. She was beaten, she was treated like a slave. And then she ended up getting kidnapped for marriage when she was like 14. Literally because she was light skinned, and somebody from the north saw some value in her because she's light, so they took her and kidnapped her and held her until she was like 18. Then she ran away.
Wow.
Do you ever feel like with other black people that they would try to project the sort of, I don't know, I have this thing where people who are dark, they want to be a bit lighter, not because they want to be white, but because they want to be a somewhat standard complexion of black.
Right.
Do any of you ever felt that before?
I find, like saying that, I know the women have a different experience, but I found like there was some like light skinned mixed race boys that wanted to be a lot darker than what they were because they kind of felt excluded almost. Reason I'm saying that's just obviously from my experience, there will be a lot of black guys and there will be only one or two mixed race guys. So for them, they're like, I'm kind of a little bit out of place. So
they
the
get
reverse,
a bad rep as well.
Yeah, of course they get a bad rep. You know, like
Drake fucked it for them.
They're seen as soft, they're seen as this, but that's not the case. Sometimes some of them are not like that, not all of them are like that, but you'll be surprised. Some dark skin ones that soft too, unfortunately. So it's just the individual, but it's just the stereotype, innit?
I remember I saw this meme this girl put up. She was talking about how like dark skinned guys always talk shit about light skinned guys, but are so quick to make some.
Wow. Is she a white girl?
No, she's black.
I'm so dead. But you know what? Honestly, I feel like when people always prefer light-skinned men, it's because it's like a fetish for them, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a woman wants a light-skinned man because they want to be like, you see, I'm dark-skinned, but I can still get myself a light-skinned guy. So it's just like, I'm honestly, light-skinned men are attractive, but I've never seen myself like trying to like really see myself with one. I don't see myself with one, to be honest. But I think this is a fetish, to be honest, for most people, from females and males.
Yeah,
this is like it's like a fetish.
Same with dark skin though. Sometimes like
there's people that like we want dark skin men.
A lot.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
like I find that a lot of Jamaicans would like, they've got like rastas and stuff like that. They're obsessed
for sure
with like dark skinned females.
and African queens.
You special.
Yeah, in London.
Oh yeah, the Rasta mandums.
Birmingham,
If you
areas.
Okay, you talking the Rasta man.
Okay. If you tell them you're from South Sudan, it's even more.
They want to marry you. They want to marry you. But that's because theirs is a sense of neglect and they're trying to reconnect. That's what it is. So they, if they find somebody who is obviously of South Sudanese heritage, they're like, okay, what about some babies? My kids can trace back exactly where they come from immediately.
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of got that part of it.
And also the historical significance of it as well.
Yeah.
Especially on the
East
Nile
Africa
River.
as well.
Yeah.
So.
Because I remember my uncle. He's walking down the street and this Rasta saw him. He's like, yo, that's a real black man.
I think just in general, I think black people should just appreciate their tones, whatever they're born with. Just love it and just appreciate it and just be grateful that you come from a black background, Like completely. You need to just love yourself within your skin. Because no one else is gonna have the exact same one. Even like, you see these Caucasian people trying to be like you.
Taking melanin pills.
You see? So like, you need to appreciate yourself,
I never knew that.
Just appreciate yourself and just love yourself regardless of the tone you are, because someone's gonna love you one day for who you are, exactly who you are, the way you are. Just take it all in and just accept it. Regardless if you're dark, light skin, brown skin, caramel skin, it does not matter. You got long, nappy, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah, and also I think a lot of it stems from having closeness to whiteness.
Yeah.
Because obviously they associate being white with being beautiful, being
Yeah.
intelligent.
But again,
white people want to
be
they're on the sunbed.
But that's what's messed up about it. It's complete reverse. Because it's like you
want something they don't have.
But again, I think it's something we touched on last week. Is like we're measuring our standards based on living in a country that's only got like 2 to 3% black people. The country is designed for.
No, but it's global though.
It is. I understand that, but where a lot of these issues, like I guarantee you, yes, the colorism thing might exist in Sudan, but it's not going to be as much in your face as it is if you're living here.
I think it is worse.
I think it's
worse in Africa, especially for females, because it's like everyone's bleaching is a thing.
Yeah,
maybe that's from the female point of view. I feel like
males in Congo, there's a lot of Congolese men that bleach.
Yeah, that bleach, that's true.
What about
China?
Because China going to Nigeria and trying to sell the bleaching cream.
Yeah, nah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a thing, and they were selling.
Oh, that soap thing that there's like Filipinos they bleach as well.
Right?
Indian people bleach.
Yeah, that's true. I never knew Indians bleach as well.
No, there's also Indians. They have a whole like caste system.
So the lighter, they have like 4 castes, in their religion, 4 castes, and the top tier caste is all the really light skinned people, and the lower down it gets, the poorer you are and the darker you are. So they associate being dark with just being poor and being dirty. Like that's what they see it as in India, which is unfortunate. So everybody wants to lighten their skin. And same in China, if you're dark, then you're a labourer. Yeah, so
that's
you work outside and you have no.
Because you're outside.
You're outside, you get dark, so then you're a labourer. Nobody wants to be seen as a labourer. You want to be seen as being like elite.
Inside.
So you're inside the air. Do you like / love your skin color?
Love it! Love it!
Man, I love myself. Don't worry about that.
Watch it. You must see it.
Alright, cool. Go ahead.
Me as well.
Question goes to you.
Of course, it took me a long time to get there, but now I'm like, wow, like I love it. And to be honest, I wish I was darker, because at least then some people would believe more that I'm from South Sudan. I've literally had an argument with a guy in the street about whether or not I'm from South Sudan. He thought I was lying, but I'm not.
Because your accent.
Yeah.
He was saying, he was like, no, you're
because everybody thinks that in South Sudan.
Because if they don't see you as dark, they'll be like, no, you're not South Sudanese.
Or short. If you're short and dark, they'll be like, no, you're probably from Ghana or something.
South Sudanese people come in different shades too. We come in different heights also.
But no, man, I love my skin. Like I couldn't ask for anything else.
You man love your skin down.
Of course. Never lied. was always at school, there was always this thing where the West African kids, I don't know if I said it last episode, they would always say that they're from the Caribbean and just lie where they're actually from.
Why?
Oh my god, there's a lot of Ugandan people that I knew, no names and that, but they used to say they're Caribbean.
Yeah.
And I found out years later,
Really?
they're Ugandan. I was like, why?
So I'd always say I'm from South Sudan. You know, people say, oh, Sudan, but no.
Yeah,
South
me too.
Sudan.
Oh, yeah.
Emphasize the South.
Yeah.
I'm from the South.
No, but even before then though, like 10 years ago, we never had South Sudan and North Sudan.
But we were still
Sudan.
saying,
Yeah.
no, I was still, from when I grew up, when I was a child, I was always saying South Sudan.
Same.
So my parents always told me, they're like, you're not Sudanese, you're from the South.
Oh,
Me, I just said I'm Sudanese. Like, at the end of the day, I always feel like Sudan.
No, because
like,
if you don't specify, because I remember telling one time somebody in South Sudan, they were like, oh, you really Sudanese? I'm like, yes, I'm from South Sudan, I'm not from the North Sudan.
Yeah.
You have to specify, but you've been through too much not to. Do you know
And also people always associate a certain face and a certain culture and names with Sudan. So
that's what me now too. Me and now I say I'm from South Sudan. I feel like I decided I'm just Sudanese because I was like, Sudanese is Sudanese.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of saying from South North when you're just Sudanese?
Yeah.
But now I understand because they went through a whole lot for being the color that they are.
Yeah.
And now it's like, you know what, you need to be like, you know what, my people fought hard to be independent today.
I know,
and a lot of people died. So
they're trying to claim us now.
Now, you know, so it's like.
Yeah, but the colorism in our own country, man, like what led to the split in the first place, like that's something that's always affected me, like deep down, where people from Sudan, light skin, Arab, well, they consider themselves Arab, not African, and they're Muslim. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we're now being persecuted for being African, for being dark, for being Christians, it's so painful. Like, it's something that still affects me. The whole way the split, why we had to split.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just really unfortunate. It's
but also, it's a way to colonize everybody, right? To make everyone feel like, you know what, you're better than these people because you're like, you know, you're on a higher ranker than the other person, you know.
But it's
superior thing.
It's nonsense though, because look, all the wealth and agriculture and the resource is in the South. Yet you're telling us we're second-rate citizens in our own country. Like,
no, I think what
they
wanted us to submit and be like them. And also, I think also unfortunately it's them who came. Like, we've always been here. They came from somewhere else and came here. And we showed hospitality towards them, but then they took the hospitality as weakness.
That's what happens when you're too nice. Apparently.
So it's always been
it's just it happens. You know, as we get older, we learn it. I guess.
Yeah. So I think it's always been us trying to compromise and trying to tolerate them while they've been intolerant to us. So obviously we had to just
enough is enough. I guess. Enough's enough.
The other question, actually, the other question was, I believe, was like, was it like, is it the black community who started the colorism, or was it?
No, I think the whole colorism thing was based on it's divide and conquer. It's a slave. It's a slave.
It definitely is.
So it's
definitely.
I think it comes from. I might be wrong, but I think it comes from like the Willie Lynch theory, where obviously you just kind of divide people at different classes, and the lighter skinned people, I guess they were supposed to be
closer to whiteness.
So we kept them a little bit closer. The darker they are, the further away they are, and then obviously there was a divide between who's superior and who's inferior. And then it's just an indoctrination. So it's like, these guys are less than us, they're worse than us. So and then when you keep feeding people that, and kids are born telling them, you're nothing. After a while, they start to believe it because their life and how they're living and their circumstances are so bad, and then people of lighter skin are living in bigger houses, nicer cars, they've got resources, they've got money, they're passing stuff over to their kids. If that's happening and you're like a darker skinned kid and you're seeing your reality and their reality, you start to think, hold on a minute, they must be associating with lighter skin with success, you know, but that's not necessarily the case, because that's obviously designed for it to break people down and divide people or divide groups up. But now there's loads of dark skinned people with resources, you know, go to the continent, go to South Sudan itself, there's loads of people that look like you, they're doing extremely well. So it's all a lie, it's all it's just kind of to divide people up and
also
break families
off, for people to be dominated as well.
So that's my take on it, you know. I might be wrong with certain things, but I think that's kind of like the overall.
I think my take is religion.
Religion's got a big part to that.
Because obviously once you find that divinity is outside yourself, you're always going to try and strive for it. You know what I'm saying? Especially with how Jesus is portrayed.
Yeah.
Usually a white person.
Yeah. Which again,
so
that's up for negotiation because
obviously my people obviously have a different opinion to me, but I think just the way it's physically visually depicted as a white man, people are gonna just subconsciously associate whiteness with divinity.
I guess it's the people that are drawing these pictures.
Sorry, can you emphasize a little bit more on that, on your view on that? Because I think that's very interesting. And not many people might think of it like that.
Just before you start, like for example, if I was an artist and I was to draw a picture of, let's say, Jesus Christ, I'll draw somebody that looks like me, or people that are in my surroundings. Yeah. So naturally, I guess the people that had access to, again, to draw these pictures and such and such,
but the people who are drawing
Is that your log block?
Yeah. So I think people who are drawing these images are the ones now bringing the religion to us.
Yeah.
So obviously we're gonna associate people who bring us the religion and how they depict it and the language that is spoken.
Y'all talking about Jesus and the freaking door open up. The Holy Spirit ain't liking that.
Yeah.
So how do we think we can fix colorism? Or is it something that can be fixed?
I don't think positive imagery.
I think
I think it's just
what we teach our children. We can change like the generation.
Even that's what we're doing now.
It's more like cartoons for black children, with black children in it. Superheroes with black children.
Like Lupita. She made it
Lupita.
Yeah, she created that book. Suli or Sulu.
Yeah, we've actually got a Sudanese person that's actually created something for South Sudanese children. It's called Nyawich and Friends. I'll put the information below so people can find it, and I'll send it to you guys as well. Her name is Nyubon Dimbing.
Oh yeah.
So she's done.
Sister.
She's got dolls as well, all different shades.
I've seen them.
Yeah, so it's quite cool. I think
I think it's shifting slowly. I mean, like stuff like Black Panther.
Yeah.
Even the Spider-Man animated film that came out, it was a young black boy who was Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
So it's slowly changing.
I think I think it's obviously there's the media perception and how people do things, but also it's a family thing as well. You know, like from you'll get certain positive reinforcements. Like for example, I'll give you an example myself. So one of my cousins which is a cousin's older sister. When I was maybe 15 or 16. Obviously, you have kids that are, will say certain things, whatever, and obviously you don't say nothing, but she's a little bit older than me, so she has, and she just kind of pulled me to the side, and she's like, all right, you know what, I understand what's going on, but you've obviously need to realize where you're from and have a look that, and just understand where you're from and what your family line and your family blood is from. These are people are telling you, you're nothing or whatever, you live in a country. Obviously, we've come here as refugees and so on. But if you trace back, what did your father do? What did your grandfather do? What did your uncles do? And then you go back, and then she's just like, all right, you know what I mean? Potentially, you could be a young prince or a young king, keep your head up. And when she said that to me, I was like, bro, you know what? She's actually giving me positive reinforcement. And because obviously, at that point, you're 15, so you're angry, you're frustrated. Yeah. And then when you hear that once, after that point, what anybody has said to me, it didn't make sense. Because all I was thinking about myself, you know what, maybe my bloodline or people within my family or my tradition might have other resources. If I was in South Sudan at the time or Sudan, and if we didn't come here, my situations would be completely different. Where I would be in society is completely bigger. So she said, don't judge yourself based on being in the UK. You know. And my yardstick of measuring who I am in society was, I'm in the UK. And then she said, nah, scratch that. You've got to start measuring yourself based on where you come from and the people that you come from. Yeah. And if you see yourself as obviously, as a prince or king, whatever, then just keep your head up. And then after that, obviously not only from her, but other people in my family and stuff, and they had that same attitude of pride and positiveness. But I was like, okay, cool, you know what, I ain't gonna listen to that. I know exactly where I come from. Why am I listening to your nonsense? So, and then after that, it just gives you, you just stand up tall immediately. And then anything that anyone says, you just deflect it because you know what your family is giving you. And that was just a 5-minute conversation, and that was years ago, but that stuck with me. And throughout my late teens and all the way through my 20s, I just kind of almost had that confidence, and I didn't really worry about much, you know. But that was just one thing from one person, you know. So, but again,
that's all it takes. That's what it takes.
So I think. Shout out to Nick.
Okay, the next question is like, what mental health issues do you think colorism leads to?
So again?
I'm just about to
repeat the question.
There you go, sir.
Do you want to read it? You made a statement.
Yeah, question in it. You have to read someone's though. Read it.
What mental health issues do you think colorism leads to? Alright, start with you.
I bet. Oh, me?
Yeah, you go. You go this way. Go this way. Go this way. She's like, yeah, you go, and then I'll go.
Low self-esteem, and I feel like it usually boils down to anxiety and depression, right? Mm-hmm. But especially if you have low self-esteem, I think that's gonna kind of cascade into so many different things. It's gonna change your world, and affect so many other aspects of your life where it like an inferiority complex. Do you know what I mean? If you're always being told by your own people, oh, you're too dark or you're too light, like feeling like you never quite fit in, that's gonna cause issues like in your whole life. It's gonna affect every aspect of your life. I feel like anxiety mainly, like obviously anxiety and depression are linked, but just being anxious because you don't know who you are, and it ties back to what you were saying, like somebody came to you and told you like, no, think about who you are. Do you understand? Like remember who you are, and that's what we always need to teach our children and keep on going. And like I rate your cousin's message because that's really deep, and I wish.
She's like older sister, so she's like, don't believe all that stuff, and like, you know, obviously for her to, because obviously she really identified that obviously these are the issues that's going on, and being obviously a couple of years older, she kind of said, okay, well, that's the only way I can kind of help this guy get over it by that advice, you know. So
because I think also if a lot of our people here, especially the young men, everyone in general, if they got that message when they were younger, I think there would be a lot of people who could avoid a lot of bullshit that's been going on.
But I think it's not too late though. I really think it's not too late, you know.
I mean, it's not too late, but it's like there's already been certain consequences.
But there are a group of people that are still younger that they can obviously see this.
Definitely.
Obviously
they can change.
Can obviously change that, and we can change the narrative of.
Doesn't matter how old you are.
Because you can change somebody. Somebody might still hate themselves now. They're 30 years old. You know, but hearing a certain message might help them. But I think just to go back to your question in terms of like the mental disorder, I think you're kind of, let's say if you're a young man and you're growing up in your South Sudanese descent, okay, so you're going into a world where, let's say, there is racism from whites, Indians, you're excluded from that. That's a given because you're black. But then the biggest issue is that I find like South Sudanese deal with, now you're dealing with racism within your own race. And then now, okay, well, everyone else doesn't like me. People from other countries don't like me. And then even people from my own country are telling me I've got to be this. So like you're fighting your own race, your own family and your own community, and in the external world. So really you've got nowhere to really kind of lean on and survive on. So naturally you feel excluded from society completely.
And also I think within the South Sudanese community there's a whole ethnic standpoint, aspect that includes to that. And also I think an age thing as well, that's also included into it. Because I think there's always this weird
dynamic
between like the old people and young people.
Complete different mentality.
Different mentality.
I reckon it's maybe because they might feel that we haven't lived there enough, or we haven't experienced what it feels like enough. It's just stepping into like a different part of the world. To them it's just like, look at them, they've already been westernized. You can say one word in English, continue. Like you're gone like.
But
so you have to prove yourself and bring yourself back, like.
I think, but that's just a part that you have to be part of. You have, like, in order for you to live here, we've obviously, a lot of us have grown up here, and some of us came here when we were quite young, but you have to be part of society. Like, obviously for them, they want to go back home because that's where their teenage years are and so on. But a lot of us, our friends are here, like we've grown up here, we only have a small perception.
I think also that's the disconnect, that them not really understanding that issue, that, you know, inside might be South Sudan, but outside where I spend most of my time is here.
It's
not South Sudan.
Yeah, it's different.
And I'm gonna incorporate certain things outside and certain perceptions and understandings.
I think
it's always gonna be aligned with what you think.
I think it's just not losing your heritage.
Yeah.
And just disconnecting yourself from that. Like, yes, you can adapt to the world and such, but also just kind of being in check and being respectful.
So always remember who you are and what you come from.
But again, that needs to be reinforced over and over again.
Exactly.
They
so
have
then it's a conditioning.
It's a conditioning.
So that you know, in a way, like it's a good thing, because then you kind of like, you might have had a period of your life where you've kind of merged into the Western world. You know, and then you get a bit older, and then you kind of go back and think, oh, do you know what?
Yeah, why am I doing that? Yeah, I can
I'd
go
rather
back home.
you know,
go back home.
Wash my bum with water.
There's no tissue like that.
Man, what is this?
Some people still aren't comfortable talking about skin color and talking about race issues
because
in the world.
Burnt so much, so it's hard for them.
So as long as we can keep the dialogue going and let people know it's okay, and something like, my mom has always told me that I'm not only a woman, but I'm also a black woman. And then to have, you know, colorism issues on top of that, it feels like everything is pegged against you. Like you're destined to fall. But if we share our issues and we talk to each other and we communicate and remind each other of how beautiful and how powerful we are, how much heritage we have, like look at our skin, this is like history, do you know what I mean? Remind each other and give us that backbone to stay standing and to stay strong. I think that's really important. And I wish that I had that more growing up, and I wish that, you know, it's difficult because I was told, you're black, you're beautiful, don't worry about it, regardless. But it was harder growing up in Scotland, man. When you know, everyone's telling me, oh, you're beautiful, look at your beautiful black skin, and I was always like, is it though? Because I'm the only one, and I'm the only one being made to feel like there's something wrong with me. I'm the only one being made to feel like I'm lower class just because I'm black. Like being told there's something wrong with you because of something you cannot change. Like this is who I am. Like that really messed with my mind. So growing up now and like being an adult and realizing like how important it is to appreciate my culture, I have now found this sense of peace. And I just want anybody else out there who doesn't know or who doesn't think they can find it to believe that we can. What are you?
Yeah, it's recorded.
Yeah, it's actually really good. Like, it's really good what you're saying. Like, I agree with you. I agree with you. I really agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%.
But just know that you're not alone. Do you know what I mean? It's important. That's why we're here, to open up the dialogue. So I
think it's like, just to kind of add on to what she said, is just kind of obviously being around your community as well helps. You know, it doesn't have to be everybody, but you might have like a cousin who you're cool with, or you might have like a older brother, younger brother, whatever, and just spending a little bit of time with them. And
Can I interrupt in that? Sorry, someone said it. Someone actually said this. I want to know. This is the actual word. Sorry.
Who said this?
I'm not gonna say who said this. But someone said, I want to know who are these uncles and older like men, like who are they? Let me know who they are so I can go to them, because I think you mentioned.
Do you know the reason why I say that?
Like if you've got an older uncle or something like that.
The reason why I say
I'm saying,
the thing is, I'm saying that from like,
but they after, as it came up now, I thought.
But do you know the reason why?
Who are these uncles?
You know
where are they?
The reason why I say
But in
that.
the trap house.
You guys, nah, you silly.
But in the trap house.
Don't listen to her. The reason why I say that, is this is from my own experience. So like, I had like some of let's say some of my dad's friends. They weren't maybe direct uncles, but they were South Sudanese, and there were times for me, there was like 2 or 3 people personally that I could speak to them about certain things, and they could help me. But that might just be a unique situation just to me. Not everybody has that.
What uncle is this?
Huh?
That's what we want to know. That's the big question.
To be honest, like in our community,
studies on this, find people he can talk to about this colorism, about, mental health issues, how it affected you, and, if you have somebody in your life who's a lighter tone, then you ask them questions, because, honestly, I had this one housemate that just left the other day, and she was telling me, being a light-skinned girl, she was always picked on too, because it's either, what do you call yourself? Are you black or you white?
Yeah. So you're lost in two different worlds.
So you're like, you don't know which way to go. And you're like, I don't know, I'm black and white. But it's like, it's also hard for light-skinned people. And
that happens in families. Sorry to interrupt you. That happens in families if you're light-skinned.
Bro, we used to pick on my brother, man. It was so mean, me and my sister, because he's darker than us. I used to be like, you're dirty because you're so black. You were found in the rubbish bin.
Oh my god. That's rude.
Please edit that out, bro.
You need to go and say sorry to that man. You need to apologize to him. Now, you need to say sorry to him right now.
Sorry, Auntie. We used to be like, you're dark.
Because what have you watched on television?
That shows you
make you think
that is the first place. My older sister.
You didn't get that from anywhere.
My older sister, she's the lightest one out of all of us. And we used to be like, oh, your mama had you with a different baba. You're not,
that's messed up.
So it was like, because we were all darker skin, right? And she was the only lighter one out of all of us. But then we understand from genetics, she took most of my mom's genetics, and then she took my father's, So it was like,
you can have that parents as well. Like my mom is really fair skinned, so it's like, oh, is that your mom? Really? I'm like, that's my mom, bro. That's my mom.
Your younger brothers, they darkest.
So my younger brother was quite dark, but my sister's quite light as well. So it's like, okay, what's going on here? Family dynamics. My grandparent, like my grandma, is really light as well, and then my grandfather's the opposite thing. So it's like, oh, where are you in this family
structure?
People gotta
understand,
But light-skinned people do get it as well.
They get bullied too. And I really do apologize on my end for a lot of
What did you do, Arish?
On my end.
Is out.
No, like in my past life. If I've ever offended any light skinned person or made fun of them or anybody with a lighter complexion, I really truly do apologize, because I didn't know how much pain you guys were going through too, like the same way that the rest of us were. But maybe because I seen that you guys were more accepted than I was or we were, then that's why I was like, it is
you just assume.
Like
fuck got defensive,
So I apologize, and it is what it is. I feel your guys' pain after I've heard that experience from somebody, and he told me what, we go through some shit too. It's just not you guys, but we also, especially if you're growing up in a dominated white community. And it's like people are coming into you and just saying you are abnormal, you're not normal, you're not, because they've never seen anything so it's just
I think that's definitely where my kind of view of it came from, because even just walking down the street, in Edinburgh, kids would be scared. They're looking at you and their parents are kind of ushering them away. And I always felt
that's because they never seen that.
And I just felt so ashamed of myself. And so me and my sister were like, oh, at least we're a little bit lighter, a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And that was some sort of grounding for us.
That's that superior inferior complex where hierarchy. Okay, well, I'm not like everybody else because I'm a little bit lighter, so I'm accepted. So it's turning your back on people that are going through exactly the same thing,
some people
but you don't know that.
Be racist shit.
Some
people turn their dogs racist.
It's crazy.
It's mad. I've had dogs bark at me and then you realise the owner's racist as well.
They do this conditioning.
How do you get a whole animal to hate black people?
It's something if they bring something black beside them, then they get punished, and then if they bring something white beside them, then they get a treat. So it conditions them like that. It's something mad like that.
If you're doing that, don't do that, man.
Don't do that shit.
No,
don't do that. That's wrong.
Crazy.
That's wrong. Because the thing is, you might turn around and your son or your daughter has
that's even abusive to the dog, bro.
Husband or.
You gotta beat that dog
because dogs and rats are just nice creatures.
Yeah,
they are.
I love it.
Yeah. But anyway, apologies to my brother, man. Oops. Nothing in.
But I think just on a positive note, Obviously, I know we're talking about colorism and so on, but obviously we're kind of use this platform to kind of promote other South Sudanese businesses and ideas and so on. So another South Sudanese young man, his name is Mac, and he runs a small business, and it's called the Episode Members Club. So you guys can connect it, link below, and just go support him, you know. And that goes out to everybody, you know. It's not all negative stuff in the community. There's people that have businesses, there's people that are professionals in the community that we can lean towards and just kind of, you know, try to look to them for examples, because they go through exactly the same thing, but they continue and try to strive and try to succeed and so on. So yeah, go and support the Episode Members Club. It's online, like I said, just have a look at the link below. And then just anybody else in your community, and if there's anybody else you can help, and if it's positive, we just try to highlight it within the show. And just let us know, and we just try to promote it as much as possible, and then just support each other within the community. So
learn to love yourself, because I am you and you are me.
Yeah,
that's it.
So Episode, go check it out.
Done.
All right.
Trap house.
Thank you.
Done.
No trap house. No trap house. No trap house. All right.
Doing it to.
I just listen. Nobody slap each other's tits. This is not slapping each other's tits.
I'm not buying anything. I'm moving, man.
No, because I can tell my mom. I'd be like,
I'm one gang. We don't do this.
No, I can tell my mom. I'd be like, Mama, you have a big job, but look like your ass is big,
That's different. You would do that with a girl, but a boy, like, bro. Oedipus complex. That's
anybody in my family does that is on site. It's on site, bro. It's on site.
You know, some black people are just fucked up. You know, they really lose their identity so much to the point where they just don't know who they are anymore. You know, and it's like, you know,
go home
you know, you come from a respectable place.
Yeah, and you're doing stuff like that.
Your background, you come from morals and values. Like you just don't do certain things like that. You know. Like
even like serial killers have morals. I swear.
On the way they prepare the killers, right?
No, the reason why I say that, when you watch, you see when you watch, like, for example, listen, let me give you an example. You know when you watch like those like gangster movies and whatever, like these guys are like legit killing people, but like they look after their family, they don't like abuse people, they don't do anything. Yes, I understand, they got morals.
What about people like Ted Bundy who just went around just killing women just randomly?
Nah, that's different though. That's a mental issue though, man. That's completely. I'm talking about people that are okay.
Okay, no, just killers.
Yeah. It's part of their job description. People that are part of their job description.
That's too much, yo. I might sit out this Mother's Day thingy.
What? No? Not feeling it?
Huh?
Not feeling it?
I wish I already had a mother, so there's not really much for me to say.
But
what about other maternal figures in your life?
Yeah.
Like older sisters, cousins.
Even people are not related to you. How they affected you?
Female as well.
Nah, a lot of people in my community, they didn't really have my back like that, so.
But even if they're not quite, but a lot of other people that you could be aspired to, like, let's say,
or your experiences.
Or your experience. Your experience is important,
because that's important as well.
But I was only a mother for like a year and 3 months.
Yeah. But you opened up about it. I think it's a unique situation that people can relate to, because
somebody might be like going through that similar thing.
And what you spoke about, like the way you got brought up, you didn't want to put that in your daughter. You want your daughter to be raised differently. So that's why you made decisions you have. And as a mother, I think that's an amazing thing that you did. Do you know what I mean? It's tough.
It's a selfless act, isn't it?
It's a selfless act.
Yeah. Even though the thing is, you might feel like, okay, it's whatever.
You did it
but for somebody else that sees this and see, okay, you've done this, that might be just enough for them to just flip the switch. And they'll be like, oh shit, you know what? Fair enough, you've done such and such, this is how you dealt with it. Maybe I can kind of get through that. And sometimes it's just literally 1 or 2 words that you hear, and it could just be random from anything from anyone, and it stays with you for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So that's why I think you should obviously
even
understand it's emotional, but thing is also like it could help.
But your experience without, or whatever your experience is with or without a mother, that's something valuable. Do you know what I mean? Because you're not alone. You're not the only one. You know what I mean? A lot of people have that same experience.
Because
it doesn't mean that you need to. We're not just talking about like Mother's Day. What are you gonna get for your mom? What are you gonna do this? Bro, everyone's had crazy relationships. Even me and my mom. It's only been the last few years that we've really like been able to bond.
Yeah.
You still have an experience. Like you've been birthed by someone. It doesn't matter.
And you birthed someone as well.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Females with their fathers as well, so that's a different subject. But how that affects your relationship with your dad, and how does the relationship with your dad and your mom affect you as well? Because you might not feel a certain way towards him and a certain way towards her. How she's allowed herself to be treated. There's so many different aspects to it. So I think exploring that is stuff that people go through, but they just don't talk openly about it. And I think if I was watching it, I'll be like, okay, cool, you know, I see what they're saying, and I can relate to it because South Sudanese issues are unique to South Sudanese to a certain extent. Maybe to other people as well. Someone could relate to that, and then they're like, okay, they understand my situation. Now you have a fan, or you have somebody that's part of it. So we're saying they've got 10 minutes, and then we go again.
Yeah.